Hi, it's Jen. Today is Building Your Stash Sunday, and so I'm going to share with you how I built mine this week. The very first thing that I did was I needed to fold some more of this dictionary paper in half and glue it together with my glue stick. I had run out and I was having lots of fun playing with it, so I needed to get it some more glued, and now I have 20 more that I can use in my crafting. So I got that done. And then what I did is I did some more. This is just more of them. This is another 10 of them, so altogether I did 30. But I had made some more of these ripped tags that I shared with you last week how I did. And so I made a bunch of these this past week. And I have some more that I got done here. And then I just started making them because they're just so addicting. And so that's the back of them. So I thought that was really fun, something different than some ribbon or some lace. I have some crochet right here, and then I have just a piece of material sewn on to the tag itself. So I thought these were kind of fun. So I was having so much fun playing with these, so I needed to make my some more of this paper so that I can make more. So I did that this week. Another way I built my stash is I crinkled some of my seam binding. Now this is still wet, but I also wanted to share with you how I'm organizing my crinkled seam binding. Now my regular seam binding that I haven't touched, that's on the roll, I keep that in plastic bins. So all my ribbon is stored in smaller plastic bins. But what I thought, because I needed some more seam binding crinkled, so what I thought is this stuff has been sitting out. It just takes a while for it to dry on its own. So what I thought with the crinkled stuff, I would put them in baggies and then put it on a binder ring. And then I have a hook on one of my doors, cabinet doors, and that's just right to the right of me. And I'm just going to hang it on there, so that way whenever I need some crinkled seam binding, it's right there. And so I've been really wanting to change how I organize my ribbon, especially the stuff that I use the most. And the seam binding is what I use the most within my projects. And so I'll just go through the colors really quickly. I have 5, I think, but yeah. So I have a deep brown, I have an oatmeal color, red, I have a black, a dark navy, and then a light blue. Now my 2 lightest colors, this blue and the oatmeal color, they look a little dark just because they're still damp, and when they dry they'll get a lot lighter. So, but I wanted to share with you how I'm storing my crinkled ribbon. And then what I also do is I have another one with smaller bags that I put all the bits and pieces in. So that way, when I want to pull out a larger piece of crinkled seam binding, all these little pieces won't fall out, and then that way I can find the smaller pieces of the seam binding really quick and easy. So I've been really liking this in my setup in my craft space now. And yeah, so that's something I organized, and I built my stash on more crinkled ribbon. So that's another way. And then the thing that I bought this week, I went to the thrift store and I bought this basket. Now this basket is full of different embossing powders, and from here, from this row up, those are all Stampin' Up! Embossing powders. And I think only 2 of them were opened. So out of the 9, only 2 were opened. And I just love them because of the purples and the pinks and that blue, and then you got this green. I got them basically for the colors. I did pay $7, and before I bought it, it came in this basket too. And before I bought it, I thought, at a secondhand store, I don't like to pay too much for things, but if you bought one of these embossing powders, you can be paying more than $7 or close to it. And so I didn't think that was a bad deal at all. And then I have these other two embossing powders. This one, it hasn't even been opened, the silver. They're from Personal Stamp Exchange. And so, yeah. And then this one was opened, but there's hardly anything taken out. And then here's just some no-name stuff, which is fine. So I thought that was such a great thing. And then because I got this, I had to play with it, of course. And so I made some tags. Now, I don't know how well you're going to see this, just because the embossing is kind of, it glares a lot in the light. So I'm going to try to bring it up. There, I stamped a flower right here and embossed it. And these tags, the reason why they're so plain is because they are paint cards, paint chips. Now, I have like a whole basket of paint chips, but I didn't take these. I knew somebody who worked in a hardware store, and they knew like I like to craft, and so they asked if I wanted them, and I said sure. And so that's how I got these paint chips, because this was discontinued. Sarah Richardson stuff was discontinued, so they gave me all the cards. And then now you can't do a whole lot with these ones, because I tried to stamp on it, and it doesn't matter what kind of ink I used, it's smeared. And so it does emboss nice. And with embossing folders, I do that as well. And then embossing with these powders, it takes it really nice as well. And with these tags, it's really picky of things that you can write on with it. Just a plain, simple ballpoint pen works beautifully. And so when I put these in people's books, I will put a little sticky note and say that, so that way it doesn't smear on them. But I thought these tags were so cute. Like, look at those flowers. Like, I hope you're getting a good picture of it. It's just beautiful. So that was so fun to play with. And then for the empty that I have this week is this seam binding, the Hug Snug, the oatmeal. Now I do have some in this bag here, crinkled, but I am going to be buying some more, because this was the very first one I bought, and I absolutely love it because you can dye it with inks, and the off-whites and the whites are just so versatile. So I just, I really like this oatmeal color, so I will be purchasing this again. That is on my list to get. And the only other thing that I did in my craft space this week was I cleaned the right side of my desk, so that way I have a lot more room to craft, and it's been amazing because I really had a lot of tools all over the place, and so I reorganized my tools up above my mat, so that way it's all organized and I have lots of places to craft. A lot of room to spread. So those are the things that I did in my craft space this week. And so I'm just going to share with you a couple little projects that I've done. Not very many, but a few. So the first thing I did is I took these receipts that I shared with you a few videos ago that I tea-dyed. And what I did was I have a lot of these hot iron transfers. And so what I did is I saw them, like I like to go through my craft space and to see what I haven't used in a while, and I haven't used these. So what I did was I thought, well, I'm going to try to transfer it onto paper. And you know what, guys? It works marvelously. So I would suggest, if you have bought these at the secondhand stores, you can stamp our papers with it inside our journals. So you can do it on just on a regular page in your journal. See, what I'm going to do, let's see. See how they have like a big design here? That would look beautiful on an edge of a page. Just hot ironed on. Oh, this one's a good example. Look at this one. How there's the butterfly and the flowers and stuff. Or on this long ivy. I'm just going to put that all along the edge of a page. So this was so fun to play with. So if you do have these hot iron transfers, it does transfer onto paper. The only thing, caution that I would say is, you do need to hold your iron on it for a little while, but don't put it on too long or else it will melt. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's plastic or what it is, but whatever it is that's on it, it will start to melt. Like if you look at this one, it starts to melt it if you keep the iron on it too long. But I thought it looked really cute, and you can still journal on the sides of the bow. So that was a lot of fun. So if you have these, it does work. So I did a bunch of that this week. Another thing that I did was I made a belly band. Now this belly band was made using, I'll just get my, I did use book pages from, I have very old encyclopedias, and when I got them, they smelled really musty, and I don't feel comfortable using that in people's journals. So I tried to use some of the methods that I've seen online, how to get that smell out, and it didn't work. So instead of throwing the books away, what I'm doing is I'm taking the pictures out and I'm just going to photocopy them, and then I will be able to use it in journals. And just because it's either that or throw it in the garbage. So, and the pictures are so beautiful in it. Like, really beautiful. I'm just checking to see if I have the actual book pages so I can share with, oh, here they are. These are just so, look at how cute they are. Oh my goodness. I couldn't throw this away. And they're pretty old. I think they're in the 60s or 50s. Or early or later, like even in the, I'm not sure, but yeah, these are just so beautiful. And so that's where I got the birds from. And so the size of this belly band, it's 7 1/4 by 2 1/4. And then all I did is I backed it with a piece of, I have like gray file folders. I'll just stick one in here. I have these quite large file folders, and so I'm starting to use this to back a lot of my projects. And so I just use that. And then on the front, it's very simple. I had my dictionary pages out on the side of my desk, and I thought, oh, maybe I can frame one of the birds to give the belly band a little bit more interest, because I didn't want to sew all around it, because I didn't want a tag to get stuck on the sewing, and so that way things can slip right in. I am going to sew it on the edges inside the book, but I didn't want to sew all around it, just so that way it was easy to get whatever I want underneath of it. And so this dictionary page, it measures 2 1/4 inches by 2 inches. So 2 inches by 2 1/4. And then I just inked around it, and then I sewed a flat ruffle, and then just stuck that on the side. And that's all I'm going to do right now, just because once I get it in my book, I'm going to be having other things underneath it. So I don't want everything to be competing one to another, because I really want these birds to shine. And so that's another thing I've been working on in my craft space this week. So again, I'm just going to share with you. You can use your hot iron transfers onto our papers. And then let's not forget about our embossing powders and how beautiful they can make different tags. Those are really fun. And don't forget about these tags that we made last week. This week is just very small little projects that I've been working on, but I wanted to come on here and to share with you the different things that I've been doing. And that is all for today. But before I go, I just wanted, Karen Phrase, if you're watching this, I just wanted to let you know that you won that Valentine's prize. And so if you can DM me and your address, I can get that sent out to you right away. So congratulations. And so everybody, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found something interesting today. And don't forget, let's not throw away our junk. Let's journal with it. Take care, guys. Bye.